We at the San Francisco Foundation envision a Bay Area that is inclusive and where it doesn't matter what your race is or what your family's economic status is or where you're growing up in terms of your ability to plug into what the Bay Area has to offer and your ability to access opportunity and create a better life for you and your family. That is the San Francisco Foundation's agenda, and that's what we hope to work on in partnership with all of the other stakeholders in the Bay Area in order to bring about an even stronger region. Growing up in Oakland and going to public schools in Oakland was a very unique experience for me because I often found myself in the classroom with the wide variety of people who make up the community. One of the things for me that was particularly stark and really in my face was the fact that I had many classmates who I thought were brighter than I was, more vibrant than I was, had much more interest and passion in the things that I did at the time. But those people didn't have the same kind of opportunities I did. And so one of the things that really impacted me was I looked at their family backgrounds and things like that, and it became very clear early on that we don't have a level playing field. And where you live and your family's economic background really matters in terms of your ability to connect the opportunity in the region. For those people who I thought were smarter than me, many of them are now in jail or don't have the same opportunities. And I think that that's something that has been in the background for me as I've kind of grown up and thought about the importance of the work that I do. The work that we are embarking on and the level of ambition that we have for our region requires us to go far beyond our role as a grant maker and a service provider to donors. We feel like in order for us to get to where we need to go, we have to enlist partnerships in the public and private sector and some of the unusual suspects to work on this work and to take it up as their own. And so we hope to play an important facilitating, convening role, but we don't think that we have all the solutions, nor do we think that we can accomplish what we've embarked on by ourselves. When we started to look at the data, there were a few things that really jumped off of the page. One was income inequality in this region. When we looked at this today, one of the things that we learned was that California has less equal income distribution than the nation. And the Bay Area has worse income distribution than the state of California. This was not always the case. In 1979, if you looked at the same information, we had better income distribution here in the Bay Area than the state, and the state was better off than the nation. Another interesting data fact that came out of this was around health. And if you look at Oakland, for example, a kid today born in the hills of Oakland, in the affluent hills of Oakland, is likely to live 12 to 17 years longer than the same kid born in the flatlands of East Oakland. Those stories tell a very stark picture about where we are in terms of income, but also where we are in terms of race as important things to look at when it comes to analyzing whether or not people have access to opportunity in this region. We at the Foundation have traditionally been organized around issue areas that we thought were important for the Bay Area: community development, community health, arts and culture, environment, education, social justice. And while we have done absolutely wonderful work in those areas with our partners, grantees, and donors, the stories that we were hearing in community really compelled us to think about what we could do in order to make our impact even more meaningful in the Bay Area. And using racial and economic inclusion as the North Star for us, we really started to think about how it is that we could respond to what we were hearing in ways that were impactful. And really, the real focus point for us in terms of this work was to think about how we can make sure that as the region grows, as the region prospers, it doesn't matter where you live, what your race is, or what your family's economic status is, but that everybody has a chance to really participate in and benefit from what the Bay Area has to offer. When you look at race and you look at that in relationship to income, wealth, and opportunity, what you quickly begin to see is that the very people who we are going to be relying on to be elected officials, entrepreneurs, nonprofit professionals, policy people, doctors, lawyers, are the very people that are currently being left behind. We cannot afford that. We've got to figure out how to get more people participating in the economy, more people prepared to be effective leaders and entrepreneurs and employers in the future. And for far too many people, your race is a factor, and a far too important a factor in your ability to connect to the opportunity that exists in the Bay Area. We need to be able to address that.